Well, howdy there, friends. Today, we're embarking on a remarkable journey to catch a glimpse of how the cast members from Trading Places have changed over the years. We'll be revealing their true identities and ages, and you're in for a real treat as we compare their youthful days on the show to the present year of 2023. So, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all ready for this ride? Let's get this journey rolling. 1. Eddie Murphy as Billy Ray Valentine. During his childhood, Murphy honed his skills by impersonating multiple characters, inspired by his acting hero, Peter Sellers. Early influences also included Bill Cosby, Red Fox, Robin Williams, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and Charlie Chaplin. In October 2019, Murphy both produced and starred in Dolomite Is My Name as Rudy Ray Moore. The film was released on Netflix and garnered significant critical acclaim, holding a 97% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics' consensus stated, "Eddie Murphy makes Dolomite Is My Name just as daring, bold, and ultimately irresistible as its subject." For his role, Murphy received a Golden Globe Award nomination. During the late 1980s, Murphy became a father to two sons in rapid succession: Eric, with then-girlfriend Paulette McNeely, and Christian, with then-girlfriend Tamara Hood. In 1988, Murphy initiated a long-term romantic relationship with Nicole Mitchell after meeting her at a NAACP Image Awards show. They cohabitated for nearly 2 years before tying the knot at the Grand Ballroom of the Plaza Hotel in New York City on March 18, 1993. Together, Murphy and Mitchell have 5 children: Bria, Miles, Shane, Zola, and Bella. In August 2005, Mitchell filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, and the divorce was finalized on April 17, 2006. In May 2016, Murphy welcomed a daughter with Australian model Paige Butcher, his partner since 2012. Murphy and Butcher are also parents to a son born in November 2018. In September 2018, they became engaged to be married, and their son's middle name pays tribute to Murphy's late brother, Charlie, who passed away from leukemia in 2017. 2. Dan Aykroyd as Louis Winthorpe III. Dan Aykroyd portrayed Louis Winthorpe III, a prosperous commodities director at Duke & Duke. Aykroyd rose to prominence on the American late-night comedy show Saturday Night Live, SNL. Initially hired as a writer for the show, earning $278 per week, he transitioned to becoming part of the cast before the series premiered. The original cast was humorously referred to on the show as the not ready for prime time players. Aykroyd shared a close friendship with John Belushi. As Aykroyd recalls, their initial encounter played a pivotal role in sparking the Blues Brothers act. Meeting at a club Aykroyd frequented, he played a blues record in the background, igniting Belushi's interest in blues despite his preference for heavy rock bands at the time. Aykroyd educated Belushi on the nuances of blues music, and with a nudge from then SNL music director Paul Shaffer, it culminated in the creation of their Blues Brothers characters. Aykroyd briefly had an engagement with actress Carrie Fisher, with disagreements arising on the set of the Blues Brothers. In the film, Fisher appears as the spurned girlfriend of John Belushi's character, Jake Blues. Their engagement concluded when Fisher reconciled with her former boyfriend, musician Paul Simon. In 1983, Aykroyd wed actress Donna Dixon. The couple initially crossed paths on the set of Dr. Detroit, released in the same year, and collaborated in 4 additional films: Twilight Zone, the movie, 1983, Spies Like Us, 1985, The Couch Trip, 1988, and Exit to Eden, 1994. They share 3 daughters, including Danielle, known by her stage name, Verasola. In April 2022, the couple announced their separation after 39 years of marriage, but they will continue to be legally married. 3. Ralph Bellamy as Randolph Duke. Ralph Bellamy takes on the role of Randolph Duke, the avaricious co-owner of Duke & Duke, partnering with his brother Mortimer. His cinematic journey commenced with The Secret Six, 1931, where he starred alongside Wallace Beery and shared the screen with Jean Harlow and Clark Gable. By the conclusion of 1933, he had already featured in 22 films, including Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, 1932, and the secondary lead in the action flick Picture Snatcher alongside James Cagney, 1933. Bellamy entered matrimony 4 times. Firstly with Alice Delbridge, 1927-1930, then with Catherine Willard, 1931-1945. His union with organist Ethel Smith, 1945-1947, was documented by Time magazine. Ralph Bellamy, 41, seasoned stage, Tomorrow the World, and screen, guest in the house, actor, and Ethel Smith, 32, slender Tico famed cinema electric organist, Bathing Beauty. He for the 3rd time, she for the 2nd, in Harrison, NY. She was, in fact, 42 years old at the time. Bellamy's 4th spouse was Alice Murphy, 1949-1991, until his demise. On November 29, 1991, Bellamy succumbed to a lung ailment at St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica, California, at the age of 87. In 1984, Bellamy was honored with a Life Achievement Award from the Screen Actors Guild, and in 1987, he received an Honorary Academy Award for his distinctive artistry and his distinguished service to the profession of acting. Bellamy holds a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6542 Hollywood Boulevard. In 1992, a Golden Palm Star on the Walk of Stars was dedicated in his honor. In a 2007 episode of Boston Legal, footage from a 1957 episode of Studio One was utilized. The episode showcases Bellamy and William Shatner in the roles of a father and son lawyer duo. This archival material was employed in the contemporary narrative to elucidate the relationship between Shatner's character, Denny Crane, and his father on the show. 4. Donna Dixon as Mortimer Duke. Donna Dixon takes on the role of Mortimer Duke, the equally avaricious brother of Randolph in Trading Places. Dixon excelled in college dramatics at the University of Wisconsin. When the lead actor for a stock company production of Excess Baggage failed to appear, a friend convinced him to substitute for the absent actor. Enjoying the experience, he secured a juvenile lead in Jerry for Short in New York, followed by a vaudeville tour with Texas Guinan until she removed him from the act, deeming him too rigid. From 1946 to 1949, Amesh, along with other entertainment figures in Los Angeles, including Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, possessed the Los Angeles Dons of the All-America Football Conference, a competitor to the National Football League. He played a key role in establishing and leading the ownership group the year before play commenced, initially serving as team president. Ameche was wedded to Honore Prendergast from 1932 until her passing in 1986. They had 6 offspring. One of their sons, Ron Ameche, owned a restaurant, Ameche's Pumpernickel, in Coralville, Iowa. The couple had 2 daughters, Connie and Bonnie. Ameche's younger sibling, Jim Ameche, also a renowned actor, passed away in 1983 at the age of 67. Ameche adhered to the Roman Catholic faith and identified as a Republican, endorsing Thomas Dewey in the 1944 United States presidential election and Dwight Eisenhower during the 1952 presidential election. On December 6, 1993, Ameche passed away at his son Don Jr.'s residence in Scottsdale, Arizona, due to prostate cancer at the age of 85. He underwent cremation, and his remains are interred at Resurrection Catholic Cemetery in Asbury, Iowa. 5. Denholm Elliot as Coleman. Denholm Elliot assumes the character of Coleman, Winthorpe's butler in the film. After debuting in the film Dear Mr. Prohack, 1949, he proceeded to take on a diverse range of roles, including an officer in The Cruel Sea, and frequently portraying ineffectual and at times disreputable characters. Examples include the inebriated journalist Bayless in Defense of the Realm, the criminal abortionist in Alfie, and the washed-up film director in The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz. Elliot and Natasha Perry played the lead roles in the 1955 television play The Apollo of Bellick. He stepped in for an ailing Michael Aldridge for one season of The Man in Room 17, 1966. Elliot had numerous television appearances, participating in plays by Dennis Potter such as Follow the Yellow Brick Road, 1972, Brimstone and Treacle, 1976, and Blade on the Feather, 1980. He starred in the BBC's adaptation of Charles Dickens's short story, The Signalman, 1976. He also co-starred in the made-for-TV film The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, featuring Jack Palance, produced by Dan Curtis, with music composed and conducted by Bob Cobert. At that time, Curtis and Cobert were also collaborating on the renowned Gothic horror soap opera Dark Shadows, 1966-1971. Privately identifying as bisexual, Elliot was married twice, initially to actress Virginia McKenna briefly in 1954, and later in an open marriage to American actress Susan Robinson. They had 2 children, Mark and Jennifer, the latter of whom tragically took her own life in 2003. Following his passing, his widow established the Denholm Elliot Project charity and contributed to his biography. She closely collaborated with the UK Coalition of People Living with HIV and AIDS. Susan Elliot passed away on 12th April 2007 at the age of 65 in a fire in her London apartment. 6. Jamie Lee Curtis as Ophelia. Jamie Lee Curtis portrayed Ophelia, a sex worker who aids Winthorpe in trading places. Curtis marked her debut on television in a 1977 episode of the drama series Quincy, M.E. Subsequently, she made guest appearances on various series including Columbo, Charlie's Angels, The Love Boat, and Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. She took on the role of Nurse Lit Barbara Duran in the short-lived comedy series Operation Petticoat, 1977-1978, based on the 1959 film starring her father, Tony Curtis. Curtis also participated as a panelist on multiple episodes of Match Game. In 2023, Curtis had a guest role in the second season of the Hulu comedy drama series The Bear as the family matriarch Donna Berzato. She expressed her desire to be involved with the series after watching the first season. Her performance garnered widespread recognition from critics. Curtis played Madame Leota in Disney's Haunted Mansion, released on July 28, 2023. She is set to portray Dr. Patricia Tanis in the film Borderlands, an adaptation of the video game series of the same name. Curtis exchanged vows with British-American filmmaker Christopher Guest on December 18, 1984. After seeing a picture of him from his film This Is Spinal Tap, 1984, in Rolling Stone, she told her friend Deborah Hill, "Oh, I'm gonna wed that gentleman." She married him 5 months later, and they share 2 adopted daughters, Annie, born in 1986, and Ruby, born in 1996. Curtis holds the role of actor Jake Gyllenhaal's godmother. Before marrying Guest, Curtis was in a relationship with British rock singer Adam Ant. Curtis, a recovering alcoholic, formerly battled addiction to painkillers that she started using after a cosmetic surgical procedure. She achieved sobriety from opiates in 1999 after reading and connecting with Tom Chiarella's account of addiction, deeming her recovery the most significant accomplishment of her life. She has an affinity for the video game World of Warcraft and the manga One Piece, having attended Comic-Con, EVO, and BlizzCon in disguise. 7. Paul Gleason as Clarence Beeks. Paul Gleason takes on the character of Clarence Beeks, an undercover security specialist working for the Dukas in the movie. Gleason featured in numerous films and gained recognition initially as Dr. David Thornton on All My Children, portraying the role from 1976 to 1978. He made guest appearances in The Challenge with Harry and Blaze, 2 installments of The A-Team. Star Wars enthusiasts identified Gleason for his portrayal of Jeremy Tawani in the 1985 made-for-TV production Ewoks: The Conflict for Endor. Gleason assumed the role of Richard Vernon, the authoritative high school assistant principal, in the 1985 film The Breakfast Club. Similar characters were portrayed by him in the 1988 film Johnny B. Good as a high school football coach, and across various episodes of the television sitcom Boy Meets World as a college dean. He humorously mimicked his Breakfast Club persona in the 2018's music video for Dancing Queen and in the 2001 comedy film Not Another Teen Movie. Beyond his acting pursuits, Gleason engaged in numerous charity golf events alongside celebrities each year. During these golf tournaments, he was recognized for mingling with fans and signing autographs. He was wedded to actress Candy Moore from 1971 to 1978, and they shared a daughter named Shannon. From 1995 until his passing, he was married to Susan Keel, and they had a daughter named Caitlin. Gleason passed away on May 27, 2006, at a hospital in Burbank, California, succumbing to pleural mesothelioma, a type of lung cancer associated with asbestos. It was believed that he contracted the disease from exposure to asbestos on construction sites while employed by his father during adolescence. Gleason was 67 years old. 8. Robert Curtis Brown as Todd. Robert Curtis Brown portrayed Todd, Winthorpe's competitor for Penelope's affections. Brown participated in a rendition of the J. Hartley Manners play Peg O' My Heart in 1987 at Molloy College. In 1988, Brown took on the role of Octavius Caesar in a New York Shakespeare Festival staging of Julius Caesar at the Public Theater. He assumed the part of a physician in the Heidi Chronicles in 1990, securing the Dramalogue Award and receiving a nomination for a Helen Hayes Award for his performance. His portrayal in One of These Days at Matrix Theater in Los Angeles in 1992 garnered praise from T.H. McCullough of the Los Angeles Times. Brown featured in productions of Green Icebergs and Night and Her Stars at the South Coast Repertory in 1994. In 1999, he took on the role of John Worthing in The Importance of Being Earnest. Michael Phillips of the Los Angeles Times noted that Caitlin Hopkins and Brown were the standout performers in the production. 9. Alfred Drake as President of Exchange. Alfred Drake takes on the role of the Securities Exchange Manager. He is most recognized for his leading performances in the original Broadway presentations of Oklahoma and Kiss Me, Kate, as well as for his portrayal of Marshall Blackstone in the inaugural production of Babes in Arms and Hodge in Kismet, earning him the Tony Award. Additionally, he was a prolific performer in Shakespearean works, notably starring as Benedict in Much Ado About Nothing opposite Katharine Hepburn. In his directorial capacity, he orchestrated the premiere of The Royal Rape of Rory Macasmunde at the Virginia Museum Theater in 1974. Honored for his contributions, Drake was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame in 1981. Not only a versatile artist, but he was also a published author, having written several plays such as Dr. Willy-Nilly, an adaptation of Molière's The Doctor in Spite of Himself, an adaptation of Goldoni's The Liar, and at least one book on cards. Drake served as the president of The Players from 1970 to 1978, a social club in New York City for individuals associated with the theater, established in 1889 by actor Edwin Booth. Alfred Drake passed away in New York City on July 25, 1992, succumbing to heart failure after a prolonged battle with cancer. He was 77 years old at the time of his demise. He is survived by his wife, Esther, 2 daughters, Candace Olmsted and Samantha Drake, and 2 grandchildren. 10. Jim Belushi as Harvey. Jim Belushi assumes the role of Harvey, a reveler on New Year's Eve in the movie. Between 1977 and 1980, Belushi, akin to his elder sibling John, collaborated with the Chicago theater ensemble The Second City. During this time frame, Belushi made his debut on television in 1978's Who's Watching the Kids, and also secured a minor part in Brian De Palma's The Fury. His inaugural significant role materialized in Michael Mann's Thief, 1981. Belushi has entered into matrimony 3 times. On May 17, 1980, he wedded Sandra Davenport, who gave birth to their son, Robert James, on October 23, 1980. The union between Belushi and Davenport dissolved in 1988. Belushi was united in marriage to actress Marjorie Bransfield from 1990 to 1992. He exchanged vows with Jennifer Sloan on May 2, 1998. The duo has a daughter and a son. On March 5, 2018, Jennifer Sloan initiated divorce proceedings against Belushi, but the couple has since reconciled. In 2011, Belushi disclosed that he was grappling with gout and became an advocate for Savient Pharmaceuticals' educational initiative, Check Out Your Gout. He graced the cover of and was featured in an interview by Cigar Aficionado magazine. Belushi encountered frequent digestive issues on the set of According to Jim, leading castmates and crew to playfully nickname him Jim Belushi. Subsequently, he was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, and he has since become a proponent for awareness. Belushi endorsed the re-election campaign of Democratic President Barack Obama in 2012. In a Fox News interview, he expounded, "When you converse with the president privately, he's a laid-back individual who understands his responsibilities. Besides, I hail from Chicago too, and there you have it, the incredible journey of the Trading Places cast, then and now. As we celebrate the enduring legacy of this timeless classic, we're reminded that great stories and memorable performances are timeless." Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic trip down memory lane, Trading Places, a film that continues to bring laughter and warmth to audiences, no matter the era. Until next time, keep smiling and stay tuned for more cinematic journeys through the years.